visiting later?" Lenora sat up completely. "Can I go to the children's section?" With a stack of books beside her, she thought she wouldn't be bored for days and days. "No," said the nanny. "We'll see about that," thought Lenora. The nanny was, after all, quite inattentive. Their chauffeur let them out on the front steps of the library and leaned back against the limo and unfolded his newspaper. "Don't get comfortable," the nanny warned him. "We won't be long." She pulled a candy bar from her purse and began to munch. Lenora and the chauffeur exchanged sympathetic eye rolls as the nanny marched up the steps, the nanny chomping on her candy bar as they passed a "No food in the library" sign, with Lenora in tow. But she was only in tow at first, then gradually less so as they climbed the stairs. By the time they reached the front desk, she had gotten herself completely out of tow. At that point, it was easy to slip away. She raced down one row of shelves and then another, putting distance between herself and the nanny before she could make a beeline for the children's section. Lenora loved the children's section. She loved libraries and being surrounded by silence and people reading. She threw her arms wide and inhaled deeply. This particular library was very new and did not smell enough like books yet to suit Lenora. But it did have lovely, large windows through which sunlight poured in eagerly, and beautiful cedar beams that stretched up to the high ceiling. Her parents hardly ever brought her here, and Lenora was determined, when she grew up, to go to the library any time she wanted. Her evasive route took her around the long way. She was in a section with books on philosophy. "I'll read those when I'm older," she thought, and then books on math. She adored math, but wasn't here for that today. She turned down a row she was certain led to the children's section, but instead, it turned into a room full of books in a foreign language. She ran back and ended up surrounded by poetry. She flew past history and theater and hung a left at biology. The children's section was nowhere to be found. Instead, the stacks and shelves seemed to get taller and taller, and the rows longer and twistier. She was lost. This gave her a jolt of pleasure. As she stood contemplating everything she knew about how to escape from mazes, you could try taking every right-hand turn, for example, she suddenly heard voices. She rounded a corner and found a younger boy trying to get into a small room full of complex-looking books on astrophysics, but a man blocked his way. The man had a fat, purplish face and looked quite angry. His head was jammed into a bowler hat, and his body was wrapped in a too-tight overcoat, quite odd for a warm summer day. On his coat was a badge that said, "Librarian."
"You can't go in there,"
he told the boy. "But I just want to see," pleaded the boy.
"You are far too young for those books. You wouldn't understand them. Besides, they're full of lies. Now go away."
Lenora spoke up. "Really? They're all lies? Then why are they in the library?" The man's head turned slowly toward Lenora. The rest of his body was perfectly still. Then something moved under his overcoat, like a snake wriggling across his stomach. She felt a tremor inside and took a step back.
"They won't be for long,"
the man said softly, his eyes narrowing.
"I'll be removing them soon."
Lenora gulped, then looked at the boy, who was gazing at her with hope. "But you're not even a librarian," she said to the man, her voice hardly shaking at all.
"Of course I am,"
the man murmured. Lenora thought something flickered behind his eyes. He pointed at his badge. "That's not how you spell librarian," said Lenora. The man's eyes flickered again, like a snake's tongue.
"It's an alternative